I'm Jeffrey Clark, and this is 90s Youth Life. I'm just going to be upfront right now. I can't stand reality TV most of the time. I don't really care to watch these people who are better looking than me, have better bodies than I do, and have all these stupid problems that I don't really care about. Now, with that said, it would be remiss of me not to mention that reality TV, as we know it, really came to be in the 90s, and there were all different types of reality shows. A few years back when I went to the Museum of Broadcast Communications, that was kind of touched upon when I visited the Watching TV in the 90s exhibit. But I did find this one story on Screen Rant by Benny Adams called The 10 Best Reality TV Shows of the 90s. So I thought I'd run down this list and tap into something that I really haven't tapped into before on this show before for the most part. Number 10 is The Real World, following 7 young strangers from different backgrounds living under one roof. And then 9 was Road Rules, which was very similar. People living in an RV traveling each day to new locations while at the same time going on missions. And of course, the Real World and Road Rules shows gave way to the Real World Road Rules Challenge, which my mom used to watch all the time. Number 8, Cops. Now, I did watch Cops a few times when I was a kid in the 90s. It's not something I would watch all the time. I think it was a little slow for my liking. I was much more into World's Wildest Police videos that came in later on. Cops, of course, went off the air temporarily after the George Floyd thing happened, but they are bringing it back. Number 7, America's Funniest Home Videos. Of course, at that point, Bob Saget hosted this show that showcased a bunch of home videos with people doing silly, funny, goofy things to eventually win a $100,000 prize. Most of the time, as it is now with the current version hosted by Alfonso Ribeiro, it was videos with kids and or animals, usually dogs, winning the top prizes. Number 6, True Life, and that was a show on MTV that touched on a lot of topics like money issues and social behavior, and it featured a few people giving viewers insights from their perspectives. Number 5, Bug Juice, and that focused on a group of kids attending summer camp as they made friends and took part in camping activities. It was one of Disney Channel's best of the 90s, and it was for kids. It's still because it was the only reality TV show on the Disney Channel. Number 4, The Challenge, and this is actually what I just talked about. It brought together people from the Real World and Road Rules, and it pitted them together so they could be competed in challenges for a shot to win a cash prize. And number 3, it was more of an 80s show, but it lasted well into the 90s. Star Search, which was the precursor to shows like American Idol and America's Got Talent and The Voice, hosted by Ed McMahon. A lot of really famous people now came up on this show. Britney Spears, Justin Timberlake, Beyonce, Kelly Rowland were among the many, many, many 90s stars who competed on this show. Not all of them won, but they were able to get on the show. Number 2, Blind Date, which came on at the tail end of the 90s. It kind of speaks for itself. It brought together people who hadn't met before and cameras following them on the first date. And the number 1 reality TV show from the 90s also came from the tail end, and I've talked about it before, Who Wants to Be a Millionaire? I still remember the first time that I watched this show at my aunt's house at the tail end of its summer run in 1999, and then by the time it came back for the fall for a 2-week run, I was completely hooked. And of course, it was during that run when the famous John Carpenter, Who Wants to Be a Millionaire, phone a friend with his dad took place when he said, "I don't need your help, I just want to let you know that I'm going to win the $1 million." So there it is, the 10 best reality TV shows of the 90s. I mean, they're not all reality shows in the traditional sense, excuse me. You've got game shows, you've got talent competitions, and you've just got goofy videos being run, and I think that's a lot for you to take a look at if you have some time on YouTube, assuming some of these are available on YouTube, and some of them definitely are. So check it out. And if you see any reruns of a show that I just talked about anywhere, check it out there on regular TV as well. For bonus content and podcast news, you can like the 90s Youth Life Facebook page. You can also hear all my episodes at youthlife90s.podbean.com. I'm Jeffrey Clark for 90s Youth Life. Grow old, but don't grow up.